We have arrived, folks. We are now at the starting point where we are going to hear nonstop, outlandish, wild-ass takes from now through the entirety of the NFL offseason. And before I say what it is that I'm about to say, I want to start with this. I think if you work as a national sports media member, I think you have an incredibly hard job to do. If you're responsible for covering all, in the case of the NFL, all 32 teams in the league, I would argue that 9 out of 10 people don't have the bandwidth to be able to break down all the teams in the league beyond surface level takes. In my opinion, I think the best coverage for teams, players that you root for, that you're personally invested in, I think the best coverage is going to be from local beat writers, from content creators that specifically focus on said teams. And in fact, I think the only member of the national sports media that can break down teams to the degree to where, oh my God, this person sounds like they know what the hell it is that they're talking about. They could work for the local paper. The only person that could break down all teams in the league to that degree is Mina Kimes. I think she's the best in the business at doing that. But going back to the national media, man, I used to listen to guys religiously like Skip Bayless, Colin Cowherd 10 or 15 years ago every single day back on ESPN. Colin Cowherd on ESPN Radio, Skip Bayless on Cold Pizza, and then it transitioned to First Take. I used to listen to those guys all the time. Incredibly sharp minds. And then at some point in time, I don't know the exact year that I can pinpoint this, but at some point in time, it went from giving takes, logical takes, my reasoning behind these sports takes, it went from that to entertainment only. Let's get eyes on our program. Let's just say the most wild ass stuff to rile people up and get engagement, clickbait, so to speak. Colin Cowherd suggested, and quite honestly, this is just the national media by and large. It's not just Cowherd or Skip Bayless. It's everybody, which is why I don't digest national sports media as I used to. It's been, I would say, 5 or 6 years at least. But Colin Cowherd recently suggested a trade proposal between the New England Patriots and the Minnesota Vikings. The suggestion by Colin Cowherd: the Vikings send Justin Jefferson, best receiver in the league. Worst case, you could argue he's the second best receiver in the league after Tyreek Hill. Worst case, top 2. Justin Jefferson, pick 11, and their 2025 first round pick to the New England Patriots in exchange for pick number 3. What does New England desperately need? A playmaker. Minnesota, they have playmakers beyond Justin Jefferson. They'll be just fine. They have Jordan Addison. They have TJ Hawkinson. They feel really good about him. In what world would this trade ever go down? Like, I understand NBC Sports Boston. I saw a clip of them reacting to this suggestion by Cowherd. Say, oh my God, I would agree to this trade 10 out of 10 times, 1,000 out of 1,000 times. And of course you would. You would be stupid not to agree to that. But on the other side, what team would be stupid enough to agree to trade a player of Justin Jefferson's caliber, a premium position, best in the league, along with a pick swap in the first round, along with a future first round pick, and all they get in return is a top 3 pick, just one top 3 pick, one first round pick altogether? What team would be dumb enough to accept that, to agree to that and say, okay, we'll fax the papers over? Nobody. That's who. Even Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. I question his intelligence as far as understanding trade value. He would never agree to a dumbass trade like that. Never. That's Disney level, foggy brain imagination. I think Disney's responsible for all these people that are hiking in the woods and trying to high five grizzly bears and hug mountain lions. I saw one video, some idiot at some zoo stuck his arm in a cage trying to shake hands with orangutans. Why? I believe because Disney got all these people watching The Jungle Book and all these other movies where, oh, we can all be friends. All you gotta do is be nice. They're wild ass animals. That's that Disney level fantasy, imagination. That's never gonna happen, NBC Sports Boston. But I'll tell you what, I'll give you the real. If you want Justin Jefferson, which I don't think the Vikings should entertain at all. Well, if you want to listen to calls, that's one thing. I don't think you should execute it at all. But if you want Justin Jefferson, you want a realistic hypothetical trade that actually makes sense, that's more likely you're going to get the Vikings to agree to, this trade suggested Jefferson 11 and a 2025 first round pick for pick number 3. You want to hear the realistic scenario here? If you want Justin Jefferson, here's what it's going to take for the Vikings to even think about agreeing to it. Foxborough. In exchange for Justin Jefferson, you give up pick number 3, we keep pick 11, and we're going to take your second round pick this year. In this case, that would be pick 34, as well as your 2025 first round pick. That's what it's going to take. That's the starting point. This dumbass trade idea. Oh, we're going to give up the farm, including Justin Jefferson. But you might as well start all over. Sell the team if you're the Vikings. Are you really? Pick 3, a future first. Pick 34 in this year's draft, and that's the starting point. You might need to add in a future 4th or 3rd round pick. That's the real. And if you think that's ridiculous, you can kiss the blackest part of my ass. That suggestion by Colin Cowherd is never going to happen. And to entertain this realistic hypothetical trade scenario between the Vikings and the New England Patriots, we're going to do a mock draft. We get pick 3 and pick 34. We keep pick 11 and get a future first. At pick number 3, and you got Justin Jefferson. Congratulations. At pick number 3, the Minnesota Vikings select Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU. At pick 11, the Vikings select Laiatu Latu, edge rusher out of UCLA. At pick 34, thank you, Patriots, the Vikings select Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon. At pick 42, the Vikings select Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle out of Texas. I also forgot to mention that I added pick 189 in this scenario just to kind of balance it out a little bit. So the Vikings, the last pick that they have here is 178. So pick 42, Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle out of Texas. At pick 108, Chris Abrams-Drain, cornerback out of Mizzou. At pick 129, stacking up the defensive line, Tyler Davis, defensive tackle out of Clemson. At pick 155, Jaheim Bell, tight end out of Florida State. 164, Vikings select Dylan Johnson, running back out of Washington. And lastly, at pick 178, Vikings select Torrey Taylor, punter out of Iowa. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what is the more likely scenario if the Vikings were to even entertain Justin Jefferson. This thing that Colin Cowherd put out in the universe, I mean, go to the zoo. Shake hands with an orangutan. See what happens. Disclaimer, don't do that at all because it's dumb. Just as dumb as this suggestion.